Kia ora te whānau, welcome back. Today we've got Wayne on the call. Wayne has recently finished or completed the 30-day Te Reo Māori Bootcamp course with great success just over a week ago now that we finished, and Wayne's on today to share some of his experiences about how he went through the course and what it was like for him, what some of the outcomes were for him. So really looking forward to getting into the chat. So kia ora Wayne, thanks for jumping on.
Yeah, kia ora, Grant. Glad to be here.
Awesome. So Wayne, for you, before you got started with the course, what was life like for you in regards to Te Reo Māori, Te Ao Māori? How were things sitting with you before you got started?
Look, probably with I'd say most people that I know, we've always around the fringes. We are there. We're around marae, we're around whānau, we're around our iwi, but we don't actually engage in it, or we don't, or even tikanga really. We learn some of the tikanga, but yeah. So it sort of just went by the by. It's like a plastic Māori is what I would say. I know bits and pieces, but not a lot. So and. And everybody comes up and they'll speak to you. Oh, you understand what he's saying on TV? Oh no, sorry. So and that sort of wears you down after a while. So yeah, that's sort of how it looked for me. Done a bit of schooling. Te Rangatahi one, you brought up that book back at fourth form. Yeah, but probably never really progressed past there. So, or even didn't even probably do those, to be fair. So that's my world of Te Reo or Māori.
I think you raised an interesting point there, and you used an interesting word with sort of sitting on the fringe. I'd say there are a lot of people out there that are like that, but at the same time, sitting on the fringe means that you've still got exposure, and exposure does funny things at the subconscious levels. Sometimes there's things that just stick, and you don't realize they're stuck until you actually go back and consciously have a look at that, whether that's a waiata, whether you're looking at a sentence structure, like you said, you done some learning back in school. I wouldn't completely discount being on the fringe as not being an opportunity to learn. So yeah, interesting. I've never heard anyone mention it like that, but I think it's a very valid point. Thinking about it now, I think there would be a lot of people that are in that same category, Wayne.
Yeah. Just to clarify, that Te Reo wasn't really spoken. It was more tikanga. The karakias, the process on marae. But my family doesn't really kōrero in Te Reo, so we never have. That's far and wide. But externally, you'd sit there and on the pai you'd hear them talking. But yeah, other than that, no. So yeah.
Interesting, very interesting. So, Wayne, when you first saw the course, there would have been a point where you had to make a decision. You obviously decided to join. Were there any obstacles that came up for you for joining? Was there anything that may have prevented you from joining that you had to get past?
No, not really. I actually seen the course over a year ago, Grant. I paid for a year ago. I paid up to do this course with you, and then for whatever reason, it never went ahead because life is busy. Well, that's the excuse I'll use, anyways. For someone like me, I just like having the time to actually think about it. So. No. To be fair, in between when I signed up with you, I've actually done a couple other basic Te Reo courses around tikanga and stuff like that, and real basic, I must admit. But it doesn't stick with you, unlike yours, we do it every day. So it's always repetitive, and that's how I learn. I've got to repeat it, and be engaged in it. And your course engages you, and that's what I like about it.
Yeah, I think
but no real obstacles.
Timing wise, sometimes the timing's not right for people, and maybe it wasn't quite right when you first enrolled, but we spoke about just before we hit record on this call that the timing around, if there's someone listening in the future to this call, we've just finished sort of the first month, or we've just come back from level 4 restrictions down to level 3 restrictions during the COVID-19 lockdown. And you were saying that the timing has been great for you because you've spent the last month not being able to leave the home, and it's given you a great opportunity to learn something new. And that you know, having already signed up to the course previously, now's the right time, or now has been the right time for you to jump in and get started with it.
Yeah, and I certainly, it's benefited me, and it's benefited or some of the group that I was with, because people come and people go. But we talk every day, every day, 10 o'clock, we're on talking to each other on video conferencing. So that's how you would. Yeah.
So we've gone through the course. We finished just over a week ago, come out the other side of the 30 days. For you, having completed the course, what was the main result you got out of the course, or the biggest outcome for you?
The biggest outcome for me was is sentence structuring. Going back to that 𝐒𝐭𝐚𝐫𝐭𝐢𝐧𝐠, and then and be able to build that scaffolding of learning, scaffolding and learning there, and being able to add more kupu in and made your sentences longer. And I guess I wasn't hurried. Nothing was hurried to do. It was in my time, and it was repetitive. So that's why I said that's how I learn. So that's probably one of the biggest things, is that it was basic, but everything, as you'll see on and I think I've mentioned, was on your videos that you do on YouTube, and you talk about, you use the same words, just add another kupu in there, and you're building. And with the kupu that you give us on the course, whether it be Poaka Makariri or all those ones there, which is what our team were using all the time in our conversation, is we'd use that kupu you gave us to further our knowledge, or further our language, or sentence structure. So that's probably one of the best things I liked about that was good about the course. I guess the other thing I liked about the course itself was that how you put us in teams, and we had to link with those teams. So some teams caught up once a week, I think, maybe. Our team, we done the first week, and then all of a sudden we're doing it every day because we could, and that's where the benefit was. And we challenged each other. So I think you made us work for it. And if I got a question for you, you'd come back to us straight away. If we go, oh, have we got this right, Grant? Then you'll give us another flavour on how it was. Yeah. And I think you controlled the course very well as well, because we sort of got ahead of ourselves, thinking we're bigger than we were. And then when you have those weekly conversations with us, and you pull us back into line. Hey, don't go too far ahead because you get lost. And we did. We got lost, and you grounded us again. So yeah, that was really, really good. And go, oh yeah, better listen to that. So try and kupu way out here. And we ended up, to be fair, reading out of books like this, and we didn't understand what we were saying, but we actually had to come back, and it was better for us to understand. So yeah.
I like to think of it as gentle persuasion, Wayne. But yeah,
you didn't yell at us.
We do move through this course as a cohort, and look, it can happen. People looking to just build that little bit further and that little bit extra. Sometimes in the past, it's trying to cover topics that we're actually going to cover in a few days' time. So it's just more of a case of we'll just slow down. We'll get to that eventually. It will come in time, but let's just focus on this now. And we do move relatively quickly, having work every single day to do and covering new topics every day. But at the same time, we're generally building on the day before. So it's not like we're learning something completely new every single day. We're learning something new one day, and we're learning how to expand on it the next, and then expand on that, and then expand on that. And then when we do move to a new topic, we're generally slotting in things that we've learned over the last few days into that new topic. So it's this constant process of integrating what we've previously learnt into our new learnings. And it seems that's a real benefit of the course, and it's something that I think works really well with people. And you've just said that it's worked really well for you guys there too.
Yeah.
Cool. So going through the course, what was a specific feature of the course that worked best for you? And I'm talking about in terms of, we cover lots of different things. We look at different lessons, different grammar, activities, homework. We do our group work. We do our weekly calls, the live videos, the activities. We focus on reading. We watch videos. We're listening. We're doing all those sorts of things. And for different people, sometimes one of those aspects won't quite resonate with them, but maybe one or two of the other ones really do. So for you personally, what were one of the features of the course that really resonated with you and helped really cement things in your mind?
Yeah, well, the first one I mentioned was the group work. That's got to be the best thing. That's peer pressure, and that's how. And we're all learning together. And the thing is, when we have a group, and our group was good as it was warts and all. If we got it wrong and we said something, then we'd, hey, look, this is what it probably should be, and we have these discussions around it. And I think that's where my learning come from. Is we get these things like ite, kite, these joining words, and we might use them in the wrong place or something like that, and then we talk about it and then go and we discuss it. And of course, if we weren't too sure at the end, most of the time we work it out, but if we weren't, then we'd send an email to you and we'd say, hey, Grant, can you read this? Does this sound right? And you'd come back with, oh, this might be a better way of saying it. And the games that we've done there. So when we watch Opaki, which I think is, or even any of those tukureo, and that sort of stuff on our television here, they both help as well, because we were all watching the same stuff on TV or on YouTube, and then we'd come back and discuss that as well. So hearing them, listening to people is really important. What we had found out that reading and understanding's a lot easier than talking and understanding. So we got to the point where we'd have to say something without reading anything, and people close their eyes and they have to tell you what you said. So that's where the games came in, from that peer pressure, and sort of testing each other. And that's where we grew, and are still growing, by the way, Grant. We're still talking at 10 o'clock in the morning. So yeah, that was the best thing for me.
Yeah, the group work, it is an opportunity to use what you're learning with people that are learning the same thing. I think you raised a pretty good point there about being able to take the work, apply it, and then it's almost like you're doing your own mini wānanga on particular lessons, and how the structures work, how the words all fit in, what's the formula for the different sentences. And I think that's a really great way to do it. I can lay the lessons out. That's quite simple to do, but it is very easy to I guess accidentally put the wrong word in somewhere, or apply a structure in an incorrect manner. Very simple to do, and these are just part of the mistakes that we have to go through on this journey of learning. But going through that sort of mini wānanga process with the other people in your group can be really good, because you've got, if you're working with two other people, there's going to be some that progress quicker than others. There's going to be some things that one person learns that aren't going to quite stick with another person. So you can almost start helping each other along with that journey. Wayne, you might pick up something, and the other person in your group might go, "Oh, Wayne, that's actually not correct. We actually need to do it this way." And you go, yes, now I can see what it is. And it's just one of the many benefits of working in those small groups together.
Yeah, and I think that small groups is teaching as well. I have to teach my group a part that I learned, so it's educating them, and then they educated me. And when you're teaching somebody, guess what? You got to know your subject a little bit better, and you'll learn from that. So that's where it was quite strong. Yeah,
exactly. If you read something and you go, okay, I understand that straight away, that just clicks with me. then you can go away and help someone else with that they might have read it and went, oh gosh, I don't quite understand that. And then there's obviously always my support there as well. Like you said, if you guys had any questions, you would get them straight over to me, and I could have a look at it and give you guys some feedback, point you in the right direction. And I think that sort of model worked and does work really well. It's one of the key benefits of this course.
Yeah.
Cool. So Wayne, you've gone through the course, you've finished it. There might be someone at home watching this video, might be listening to this on the podcast. Would you recommend this course to someone that's considering taking it? And if so, why?
Well, look, yeah, 100%. Of all the Te Reo courses I've done, and I said I've done a few, this has got to be far the best, whether it's because I had the time or the group work made me do it, the peer pressure. I've got a lot out of this, considering I'm actually quite comfortable listening to ōpaki now, and I could probably pick up, maybe 50-60% of what they're sort of saying. Before, when we first started and we had that conversation on that group's call, everybody goes, they didn't understand anything they're saying, was just a whole lot of words going. So that's pretty good going, if you ask me, in 30 days. I would highly recommend anybody who wants to do this course. Look, hey, Grant there, he's really supportive. He's there, he'll tautoko you along. And the structure is easy to follow, and like Grant said, it's overlapping, and you just got to take the time and get engaged with your groups, if that's how you learn, and you will not look back. I'm not going to look back now. We've carried on to our next course now, a couple of us in our group. Awesome. So you really got to lit the fire there, Grant. For not just me but our group. And we're all moving ahead doing other stuff too now. So I thank you for that.
Thank you, Wayne. Thank you for sharing that. I've worked with, there's hundreds of people have done this course now over the years, and there's quite a few that this course seems to be, like you said, the thing that can light a fire for people. And whether that's in Te Reo Māori and they continue on with this journey and go on and learn more and more, for others, it's just about sparking that interest in Te Ao Māori, and it might be that now they've got a new reason to go out and learn more about tikanga. They've got a new burning desire to go out and learn maurako. Might be more about their whakapapa or reconnecting with whānau that they haven't connected with for a long time. So there's a lot of different outcomes that can come from this course, and I'm really, really glad to hear, Wayne, that yourself and your rōpū, that you guys are going to continue on the journey and keep that fire alive. It's really great to hear, Wayne.
Yeah.
Awesome.
That's good.
So Wayne, look, wrapping up now, someone could be listening to this, watching this in 2, 3, 4, 5 years' time. For anyone else that is sitting at home, consuming this video, consuming this audio, is there anything else that you'd like to add just before we wrap up?
I'll just say, if you're really going to take this journey, I think this is the level you want to start at. It gets the foundations going. It builds the foundation for you to move on and grow. But if you got to get the foundations right. Unfortunately, I've seen a lot of people in the past who decide, I don't want to do the foundations, I want to start up here. This is the grass foundations of actually building a good solid platform to learn your te reo. And look, I highly recommend it. It's if you really want to do this seriously, this is where you want to be. So that's what I've got to say then. Go for it. Yeah.
That's a great way to wrap it up, Wayne. Go for it. Go for it. Go for it. Thank you, Wayne. Really appreciate you jumping on the call tonight, taking the time out of your evening to share your experiences with everyone. If you are watching this video at home, if you're listening to this audio on the podcast, please jump over to our private Facebook group at Starting in Te Reo Māori. You can keep up to date with any new courses that are coming up if you are considering doing it, or you can just engage in the conversation. We've got tens of thousands of people in there that are contributing every day, answering questions, seeking new ideas. It's a great platform to learn more and to grow yourself. So thank you, Wayne, for jumping on, and for everyone at home, kia ora.